Big Rapids.
What I love most about the Christmas season is being with my family.
Non-stop holiday favorites. This is the all-new B1039.
Morning sun lights the day, Pat and Brian on the way. Stories of a small town life. Sports and joy cut like a knife. Hot stove league and full chat. High school dreams and college stats. Wednesday morning, tales unfold. Memories and news retold. Tune in B1039. Curry's voice and life's sweet line. Sheriff Miller by his side. Lively bluegrass, hearts fly.
Brought to you by Zott's Bar and Grill and by Big Rapids Tire. It's Curry's Hot Stove League.
Morning, Bob.
Gilmore Plumbing.
And Gilmore Plumbing. Thank you very much.
Scott Gilmore. Boy, that old Jen's right out there in her.
Yeah, she is.
Mama Bear, she's a great gal,
Yeah.
isn't she, Bob? She
Give me
keeps
the
us straight.
spot number on that. 'Cause I gotta,
That's another show. That's standard.
give me the number for that because I got to slide it in.
Are you
We're
on,
just-
Bob?
yeah,
So
we're on.
Gilmore's another show?
Oh, okay. So
You know,
okay.
Scott Gilmore used to be one of our corrections deputies
Oh,
back
okay,
in the
very
day.
good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Morning, Brian.
Well, we got a
Morning.
free plug.
So who's the sponsors?
Okay, it's Zott's, of course, Doug and Roxanne.
Yeah.
And also Big Rapids Tire.
Okay.
By
That's
the way,
it.
I wanted to preface the entire show. You look stunning in those earrings.
Thank you. Well, we took some pictures over there today. I had Carson
Thank you,
Trinidad,
Dan Spadowski.
quarterbacks for FSU Dogs were in this morning for
Yeah.
breakfast.
Get
and
nutrition
I did
for the
that
big
for a
game.
gift for Bill Shively. Bill's a long-time, outstanding dog man up at Ferris. Never misses a game, hardly ever misses a practice. I don't know why the heck he doesn't coach, but anyway, he does coach his grandson, and he coached his son back in the day. But anyway, they were good enough to come over. Carson comes in quite a bit there, and they had breakfast this morning. Two fine fellows, so you can see why they're leaders of the team up there. They're just two great people, leading Ferris hopefully to a national championship. They play Saturday, folks, out there. We need to fill the stands. It starts at 3:30, tailgating at 12:30. If you want to meet Bill Shively, the famous dog, he'll be out there tailgating along with Ben Brandt, Kurt Dabowski, and Ed Filion, and Brian Miller, and all of them will be up there, I'm sure. But anyway, we wish them well. Tony Anise has got him on track for another national championship in McKinney, Texas. Hopefully it'll be next Saturday night. So anyway, that being said, had breakfast with a couple guys. If you want to see what they look like, it's on Facebook under my page, patcurry.com. No, there's no
Along with you-
I like
along with
saying
your
.com.
earrings.
Yeah, my earrings. Yes, Dan Spadowski, folks, gave me those earrings. Did I put them on Facebook?
Yes, you did.
I did.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't think I was
You
going
assured
to
the
because I didn't want to be too
You also assured the
controversial.
community you weren't gay. So
Ooh, boy. Did I put them on with Josie Prince then?
you were by yourself. You were solo. It was actually
Really?
a pretty good picture.
Somebody else did it then. I didn't do it.
It's on your page.
Yeah, they did. But anyway, we got a great co-host this morning, Brian Miller. We missed last week. Unfortunately, we were both busy. I can't remember what I was doing, but I got to tell you a little story. Yesterday, Seth Winger, on his way down to Rockford, was listening to the show, and we had John Zimmerman in here, and he did a great job, but he brought some pictures with him, and they were just awesome from 1885 all the way up to the modern day of his family, and he's related to a lot of people. So we really had a great show yesterday, and you can see it on, what, B1039?
Yeah, you can go to
YouTube.
Facebook. Yeah. Facebook.
Okay, yeah.
Facebook, B1039 Big Rapids.
But I got to tell you what, Seth texted my friend Randy Vetter and said, does he know he's on the radio and not TV? Because here I am talking, oh, that's a great picture. Well, we can't see it. But you can see it if
But
you
you
go
were
on
actually
Facebook.
giving them good descriptions of what each
Oh,
picture
okay.
was. Oh,
Okay.
yeah. That was the thing. I mean, radio, you could describe and present it as a radio theater. They don't have to actually see the picture. But if you come in, and we do this in the future, you go to the Facebook page, Big Rapids B1039. That's what it is.
Okay.
And you will be able to see the live stream. So,
Well,
yep.
so anyway, we had a good group of guys in there this morning. Again, Kim Wells, Dan Spadowski, Quagmire, Joe Bashaw,
Quagmire.
Al Lawson,
Okay.
Bill Edwards, Don Helder, and then we had our two guests of the day, Carson and Trinidad. Great guys. But anyway, Rob Bentley posted there. He goes, "Don't let boys sit next to Vetter." We call Randy Vetter Quagmire. He's one of the most entertaining people I've ever met in my life. I think Bill Shively and him too. Those two guys should be on TV because they have a lot of talent on keeping smiles on people's faces and making people laugh. But anyway, that being said, I said it yesterday at Curry Corner, and I'm going to say it today. Keep Randy in your prayers. He's one of my better friends. I just love him to death. He's going under the knife Friday morning, approximately 9 o'clock, if the nurses are all ready for him, because he loves those nurses. He's going to go for open heart surgery, you know. In today's world, it's probably a minor thing because they can do so many things with your heart, and it's almost 100% sure thing that he comes out of it. But he is in God's hands once he opened up there, and just pray to God that he comes out of it okay. Thank you. We have a couple of good guests, Brian. I'm going to let you introduce them.
All right. Well, this is like, let's see. These were our two first guests, the very first show we had.
Unbelievable.
So here we are maybe a year later, and we bring them back because with the upcoming seasons that each of their programs have, I thought let's revisit it, and what two better people to have. Two great coaches, good friends of mine, and two people I think very highly of. So we have Brennnan Walsh from Reed City Varsity Basketball, and Jason Kostecke, the JV coach and assistant coach for the Big Rapids High School boys teams.
Yeah, they're both great. Brennnan is his second or third year?
Third year.
Unbelievable, isn't it? Fast 3 years.
It goes by quick, just like us being here a year ago. It goes by real fast.
Yeah, you know, they've accepted you really well up there in Coyote country, haven't they?
I hope so.
Well, no, they have. You get along with them good up there. I know they're real happy with you. I've talked to the people in charge up there, and they always they've talked real highly of you. They like your dedication, your work ethic, and what you're instilling in these people. We call young children, but they're not children. They're young men. And then you've been there going on to 3 years. Last year you had a really good year. Your football team that you didn't coach, but they had a great year. Basketball is top up there. I know you guys got a lot of pride in basketball. We'll talk about your team coming up here in a little bit. But Jason, I'm going to go to Jason Kostecke here. I think the world of Jason. I watched you coach the last few years, and you coached the girls, you coached the little guys, and wow, the way you handle yourself and the way you get those kids out there to play, it's just unbelievable. I think my granddaughter Kay played for you.
Yep, she did.
And she's only 10 now, and I think she was 8 when she played for you. And I just couldn't believe that how you instill in a team discipline and attentive. They're on top of the game. I mean, you had some plays that these kids normally don't learn until they're in the middle school or even in high school. And the other guy that I should have on again too, and I was really impressed. Let me put this way, folks. We got some great people in Big Rapids, and I won't talk too long on it, but you are one of them. You're one of them. You're going to earn the top spot, no doubt about it. I can tell it. You're humbled by what you do. You enjoy the achievements that you do with the individuals that are playing with you. You don't look at it as a win-loss, but you look at what you're building in that character of that person. The other one is Fricky, Nathan Fricky. He's coaching right now my two grandsons. One's in second grade and one's in third. It's a fourth grade public school team. So they needed a couple extra kids, so they went to St. Mary's and got a couple of those kids. And little Owen's only in second grade. I've been to 2 of his practices. After the second practice, I said, you should be coaching the high school. He's got these kids doing plays. I remember Tom Ludwig said years ago, when they're little, just give them the ball. Well, it's a different world today. These little brains are going, they're a little bit faster, they're a little bit brighter, and they instill what they remember. They remember better. But that Nathan Fricky, I was really impressed with him. Those kids love playing for him, for one thing. They love running. He makes them run. And if they do something wrong, he's not mean, but he makes them run because you weren't listening. And he shows them how to block out. He shows them how to run around the block out, shows them how to bounce pass. These kids are like little machines. And I said to my wife, man, when that little Owen and Harrison get up in high school, hell, they're going to be playing pro ball. for one thing, they know discipline. They know how to respect the coach. None of them talk back to him. None of them said, well, I don't feel good or I don't want to do that. The eyes are on him. So they're Nathan Fricke. I gave you your 2 cents worth. I love you. He's going to be a great coach for Big Rapids. Anyway, Jason, I've admired you too. First of all, you got a full-time job.
Yep.
Mission Point, you're doing a great job over there. I was over there seeing the old athlete Marv Snavely here all last week. And I wish Marv, I think, moved to Brook now.
Yep.
Yeah, so keep him in your prayers, folks. Marv Snavely, a longtime postman here in Big Rapids. So, you got a big year coming up. You're 3-0 right now. We're going to stay with you, Jason, for a minute. Brian, take it over.
All right. So, last night, Central Montcalm. Talk to us about last night, and I guess you guys have had 2 games before that, and what you have ahead of you.
Yeah, so yesterday, Central Montcalm, really had a good plan defensively. We struggled a little bit in the first half trying to figure it out. They did kind of almost like a triangle and 2 on Cole Heiss and Gabe Jenga. We struggled a little bit. Ty Gelchik went out in the first 2.5 minutes of the game with a sprained ankle. One that's probably going to keep him out, through the rest of the week. So, but yeah, the second half, we changed some things around defensively. Kids got after a little bit, so we're able to pull away. Central Montcalm, they played hard, and everybody in our league always plays hard against everybody, but they did a really nice job in the first half defensively, limiting us on what we wanted to do.
I can tell you my son plays hockey, but he's gone to a couple of the games so far, and he comes home and goes, Dad, you should see Drew Heiss play defense. He's probably one of the best defensive guys they have out there.
So with Drew, yeah, he's got a nose for the ball, really. Like he's kind of that sneaky. He's in the back, and then all of a sudden he's there to try to make a steal in the passing lane. So he's faster than he looks. He does a real nice job. He's a smart basketball kid. He got a nose for the ball, as they say, and does some really nice things, plays within himself, and knows his limitations and his abilities. So he does a nice job there, especially for a freshman, getting some good minutes at the varsity level.
Yeah, and Gabe's had some good games so far. I'd like to see limit the turnovers a little bit based on, I've listened to you guys 3-0, correct?
4 now.
Okay, 4. I've listened to I think 3 of the 4 games. Didn't get a chance to listen last night, but it sounds like if we can get Gabe to limit those turnovers, more points and maybe less points than the other end.
Yeah, so with Gabe, he's handling the ball out front a little bit more than he has the last 2 years, so he's just getting some comfortable with that, and he knows that, he come to practice and say, hey, I had a really good game other than the turnover. So he knows what he's struggling with, and he's working on correcting that. So that's a sign of maturity for him and being a senior leader to say, hey, I had a really good game. I had double-digit points for the 4 straight games.
Well, he's a force.
I got to limit these turnovers. So he's doing a really nice job at understanding and recognizing what he needs to do to make himself better and ultimately the team better down the road.
Mm-hmm. What's his last name?
Jenga.
Oh, Jenga. What's his first name?
Gabe.
Gabe Jenga. Don't know that name. I don't.
Well, you get to the game, you watch him play, you'll know.
Where's he from? Big Rapids?
He's Big Rapids. He's been here as long as I can remember. But you watch a game and he's athletic, gets to the rim. No, he's more of a forward.
Yeah, he's playing
forward center maybe.
He's a 3-4. We're trying to work him out a little bit on because we got Ty as the 5, so a little different position than he's run the last couple of years. But yeah, he's pretty athletic.
You played 4 games.
Yep.
You won all 4. When are you going to play a tough team?
Well, we will play Cedar Springs. I mean, Tri-County, everybody in our league is always tough, right? Like I said, they come after Big Rapids and Reed City with anything that they can come after with. So Tri-County Friday, we should be able to handle. But Cedar Springs, we play on Tuesday. They're beating teams pretty easily. So that's going to be a benchmark game for us really to see what happens. And then we go to Reed City next Friday. So next Friday is going to be one of our toughest weeks all season with playing 2 really good quality basketball
That probably
teams.
takes you into the holiday break. So
When's Cedar Springs?
That is, I'm pretty sure it's Tuesday. I think it's Tuesday, Friday. That is home this year. So
home.
Yep, it's
that'd be a good
freshman JV varsity triple header. So should be some pretty good competition, in the gym that night.
You say they're playing freshmen?
Yep, freshman at 4, JV 5:30, and then.
How long we had a freshman team?
All 3 years that I've been here.
Wow, good. Yep. They just started that up though, eh? Or we've always had freshmen.
I think we've had freshmen as far back as I can remember.
Oh, maybe it's football. I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think. As far as back as I can remember.
Okay, good. So anyway, Reed City. Brennan, we're going to talk back and forth, all 4 of us here. Brennnan Walsh, the head coach of Reed City, here with us. Third year at the helm there. Last year you had a great year. You kind of fumbled there in the districts with Big Rapids, but you played them tough, but it wasn't meant to be that night. How about, we won't talk about that, Brennan, unless you want to, but this year, how's your team match up to what you had last year?
Well, we can start with what you just said. That was in our conference tournament. We lost to Ludington in our district championship.
Oh, okay.
And played a great game against them, one of the best games we played all year, but just came up a little bit short. Season so far, last year I was blessed with a great group of boys, senior heavy, leadership, hard work, kids that were just relentless and hated to lose. I mean, everything that you could ask for, we pretty much had it, and that doesn't happen very often. And this year is kind of a rebuilding year. We got 2 freshmen on varsity, one that's starting, another one that's our backup center, and they're both doing really well, but they're freshmen, they're young.
What's their names?
Asher Dusham, so he's kind of playing like a point forward for us and doing really well. And then Rowan Johnston is our backup 5, and he's doing a great job. The kid's just improved so much over the last couple of years. It's been fun to watch his growth. And
how tall is he?
He's about 6'3".
A freshman?
Yep.
What's his dad's name? You know?
Josh. Yep, he's a teacher at the middle school.
Okay.
Yep. Real good family.
Tall guy. How big's Josh?
He's got to be 6'2" or so.
Okay,
and
so the kid's taller.
Mom's over 6 foot.
Oh Lord. Yeah. Can we get him down to Big Rapids here, maybe?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
So
I just thought I'd try.
So we're hoping for a couple more inches out of him. But
wow,
he's doing great. And then we got a bunch of juniors that are, we're more athletes than we are basketball players, but they're learning and improving and doing a lot of good things. So
if anybody can do it, you can do it.
Well, we're trying.
What's their names? What is your starting 5?
My starting 5, Landon Jackson. So he's our only senior.
Okay.
And
Landon Jackson, I know that name. What's his name?
He was a quarterback of the football team.
Oh, okay.
And he's averaging about 18 a game right now, and he's tough.
How tall is he then?
He's about 6'1".
Oh, good size. Yeah,
long, athletic, and doing a lot of good. He's a good ball player. And he's one of the kids that's a ball player, a basketball player for us. So he's doing a good job. And then we got Jared Lockhart's our center.
How tall?
And he's maybe 6'1". We're not real big. We're not a small team, but we don't have much height. Our freshman's our tallest kid, and so it just means we just got to work hard and box out, get low, and and drive into people, and we've done okay so far. But so we started our season off a week late because of football. Most of my guys are playing football. We had our first week. We had freshman, JV, and varsity all together. We only had 3 varsity players, and because they're playing football, so we're still working on conditioning and just getting things down. But first game was against McBain, and we knew that was going to be tough. They're loaded. They went to the Breslin last year. They got a lot of guys back.
Oh Lord!
And they're just, I don't know. They do well. They grow them big and tall.
Big farm boys.
Yeah,
and everything.
And they are big farm boys. And it's like every single one of them seems like they're 6'4", 6'5", and they can handle the ball and they can shoot, and they're just good. But so we knew that was going to be a really tough game, and you can't ever tell your boys, hey, you're going to go in there and get your butt kicked.
Right.
But we kind of knew we were going to go in there and get our butt kicked. So it was stay positive, and it's tough. I mean, I'm looking up at the scoreboard, and we're down by 35, and you're trying to keep guys focused and not look up the scoreboard, just play the game and get through it. And we just kept talking about it's just about improving. One of our big themes is continuous improvement, and win or lose, you find things that you can that you're going to work on and get better at, and so that was our focus on that game, and we got through it. Kids maintained their composure. Was real happy about that. Second game was Newaygo, and we gave up 81 points to them after giving up 78 to McBain, and I don't think we did either of those at all last year. We really prided ourselves on defense. We gave up like 38 a game last year, and so for us to give up 79.5 points per game in our first 2 was kind of trying to figure out what we're going to do. And then we came back last night and against White Cloud they scored 8 points in the first half, and so felt like we were gaining a little traction on that end.
You look at those first two teams, though, McBain and Newaygo, and those are routinely very good teams. Newaygo's had a good program for a few years now, too. So
yeah, he does a real good job with them, and they got good athletes, and they want to play fast, and we probably should have slowed down a little bit, but we battled. So it was nice to get a win last night.
What was the score last night then?
40-33.
Okay, so you scored 40. Is that what you scored the last 2 games before that, too, then, about 40?
We scored 65 on Newaygo.
Well, that's not bad.
No, I was real happy with that end of the court. Brian Koopman's my assistant coach, and he's a hell of a defensive mind. I mean, he really, he reminds me of Reggie Manville when he was here right before Kent.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the kind of guy I got on my bench. And after the first 2 games, I said, well, we just scored 65, so I'm doing my job on offense. But defensively,
you got to help me here. Huh?
You got to help me out.
Are you having fun?
Yeah. Really enjoying it. I love the kids, and it's kind of like you're talking about. You're trying to develop young men, trying to make them better prepared for life after school, and it's a privilege to have an impact on as many kids as I do.
Yeah. Well, so this year, I remember my whole life I've heard as well, this is a rebuilding year. We're rebuilding our program right now, so we're just going to play as good as we can. We have no expectations as far as winning a district crown this year. You still have that in your back of your mind, district crowns, because Reed City normally at the end of the year they're in the dogfight on every sport up there, really. What do you see this year? Your projections? What are you trying to do this year with this group of guys?
Well, yeah, I mean we're young, and so it is kind of a rebuilding year. Maybe it's cliche or not, but but the expectations are always to compete for a district. And I mean, ever since I was in high school, that's all I've cared about. I mean, conference is fun, but I mean, if we could have traded our conference championship last year for a district, I would do it in a heartbeat. I mean, I wouldn't even question it. And I've always felt that way. So right now we're preparing to try to put ourselves in the best position possible to make a run in districts. And, and we'll take some lumps on the way, but if you can just keep getting better every day.
Who are some of your tough teams you're playing, Brennnan? They're all tough, I guess, but...
well, we got a good non-conference schedule. We got a holiday tournament where we got Lowell and St. John's coming to Reed City.
Wow.
We play Standard Sterling, and they're a solid program. Mason County Central's got a great group this year of seniors, and we got them, and that's going to be a really tough game. And then we got Clare is non-conference, and they're well coached. I think so far their scores have been down a little bit, but
they got a coach that's been there for a while, right?
Well, no,
Byron.
Byron. So this is only his second year, but but he's got experience with
college,
Mid-Michigan. And he's a really good guy.
Good horseman.
Yep. And really good coach. So our non-conference, I mean, I would look at our non-conference games and say, if you were to put odds to it, we're probably the underdog in every single one of them.
Right. Yeah. How about you, Jason? What's it looking like?
So we Cedar Springs, I said, gonna be tough. Yeah, and then we got Kennewa Hills. Actually, I think we have 3 next week if I'm thinking of the right week. We have Kennewa Hills Saturday after going to Reed City, so we go to Kennewa Hills Saturday afternoon. So those 3 games, if you're looking at games that are going to be tough and have to prepare for in a short amount of time, those are 3 that you worry about. You go to Reed City, it's a tough place to play.
Yeah.
Cedar Springs last year gave us some fits, and they're rolling. So but to that point, we want to schedule those non-conference games tougher to get ready for that district tournament. To reiterate what Brennnan said, every year is the goal of, you want to win the conference and you set those stages, but there's nothing better than Friday night hoisting a district championship trophy. I mean, the thrill for the community, the kids, everything else. So these games that we've played, Aviation Academy played us tough. Shepherd played us tough. They beat us last year. So those are the games that we were really trying to schedule. And then with us splitting back off to that those games where we don't have to play Central Montcalm twice and things that, and Central Montcalm played us tough, obviously. But those are the games you just don't want to play if, to get prepared.
All right. Well, we're going to take a break here. Brennnan and Jason and Brian and I are going to take a break. thanking our sponsors, Zots Bar and Big Rapids Tire.
Come say cheers at Zots Bar and Grill in Big Rapids. Great food, great prices, and great people, where everybody knows your name. Zots, people's choice for best soup. You don't want to miss their award-winning burgers and chili as well. Originally opened in 1933 and serving it up ever since. Seasonal beers on tap. Located at 732 North State Street in Big Rapids. Roxanne and Doug at Zots Bar and Grill are proud sponsors of the Signature Player of the Week for the Curries Hot Stove League every Wednesday morning at 9 a.m.
Hey, this is Andrew from Big Rapids Tire. Putting off winter, good idea for some, but in reality, pretty much impossible. And if you wait too long to get snow tires, you'll be saying,
Should have done it sooner. Dang it.
or something slightly more harsh. Last thing you want is to be slipping and sliding, or even worse, delayed, because you can't get out of your driveway. Get fresh new snow tires from Big Rapids Tire. There's no better feeling than to confidently take on the roads in the rough weather with good, solid snow tires on your car. Confidence and peace of mind. Priceless. Big Rapids Tire. There for you, whatever the weather. Fast and friendly service on Northland Drive, just north of Big Rapids. Call 796-4839. That's 796-4839. Big Rapids Tire.
And back with more of Curry's Hot Stove League at 27 after 9. Back.
Well, you know, it's all about sports in Big Rapids right now. I know we got the great season of Christ our Lord being born on the 25th. We celebrate that great day, but we've been blessed. God has blessed Big Rapids with a great sports program all the way down from Ferris State University, playing in a big game this Saturday, the Bulldogs at 3:30, and Tia and company out in South Dakota or North Dakota, Sioux Falls out there, a volleyball team. I think they shipped out today.
Yesterday morning.
Yesterday morning,
Yep, we gave
it was
an
Tuesday
escort.
morning. That's right.
And they play Thursday.
Yeah, play Thursday. A lot of people are going out there. Tia's really gained a lot of support, and you know, for a lot of years, it's like a third country there, but right now she's on top of the world. And I was Friday and Saturday night at their games, and man, it was a packed house. And you know, like a lot of games like basketball and football, you want those people cheering. I think volleyball, they kind of want it to be a little bit quieter, but our team had a lot of sport and a lot of hollers out there, man. They were just clapping, hooting and hollering. But you know, I said to both coaches, what you people do for this community is resilient. You see high fives, hugs, kisses, just smiles. You know, if you can put that on a person in their body, you've completed your mission in life, because, you know, there's so many things that are negative. People hating each other or bickering with each other. No, it doesn't have to be that way. You go to a football game at Ferris State, or you go to a volleyball game, you see people that are Democrats and Republicans coming together, high five and say, wow, this is great to be a part of this company. So Tia and Tony, God has gifted you, and He has gifted us with you. Congratulations again on a great season, but more so about what's in front of you. Back, we got Brennan, great coach. Coyotes up there. I call them Coyotes. I know they don't like that.
Coyotes.
I know it. Coyotes. I was just saying that for Buck Harrison, because I love Buck. You know, he's fighting pancreatic cancer. We wish him the best. His son-in-law is the AD up there, Hanson, right?
He's a great AD. Yep.
Doing a great job. Yeah, he's got good blood in him, you know, good blood. And then we got Jason Kostecke here. He's got great blood in him too. He's putting a lot of time in. You know, you guys, we do appreciate you, Jason. I know you work all day. You got a family at home. Your wife puts up with it. What's that all about?
She looks forward to basketball season every year, so no, I'm just kidding. She just, she's a saint. Yeah, she doesn't complain about it. She knows that I'm going to be gone from 7:30 to 8:30 most nights with all the practices between JV and varsity, and then games and things like that. So, but they've really embraced it. You know, her becoming a teacher 4 years ago in Big Rapids, and then me transitioning over to Big Rapids 3 years ago. You know, the kids want to go to the game. She wants to be there. So it's been a good community thing for us to go to Big Rapids and really get involved in the community even more.
Yeah, that helps, because I tell you what, behind every good coach, there's a greater coach at home, because she's got to take care of those kids, make sure they're fed and do their homework and stuff. So you're kind of missing out on that, and that's why I kind of honor people like you. You're doing what you love, but you actually are missing out a little bit of a lifestyle there that a lot of us have been.
Well, nowadays I think we all do it.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, you're doing
no
it
sooner
too.
you get out of work,
Yeah.
then you go to practice, then you get home and making sure, it's a team effort.
Did your dad do that with you?
my dad works second shift. And my dad has any regrets. It said he worked second shift, and he did it to better us.
Okay.
And so, he missed out on a lot of my athletic events because of that.
Okay, Jason, your dad.
Yeah, he was a coach. He coached little basketball, kind of like what I do for the Big Rapids Travel. He was a varsity wrestling coach at the now closed Manistee Catholic Central for a number of years. Believe it or not, they were big enough back then in the 90s when they had a full wrestling team as well. So yeah, I grew up in a family where my dad coached and learned from that. So it's just about giving back, not only the kids but the community and things like that, right? There's not enough good quality coaches that step up, especially at those youth levels. They just have dads that are trying their best, but like you said, they just roll a ball out in practice. It's kind of chaotic. So we're fortunate, at least in the Big Rapids community, where we have coaches like Nate Fricky and those guys that are helping in the youth programs to not only teach them basketball, but understand what practice is and what commitment is and things like that. So I enjoy it. I hope to continue to do it wherever that may be. Hopefully, I'm hoping it's still at Big Rapids, but enjoy it. I've been coaching in the community for 24 years now.
Wow.
With Crossroads, I started there.
That's right. I remember you
one year at Morley before I transitioned to Big Rapids when my wife went there. So, yep.
You
what
do
about
have a lot of
baseball?
credentials behind you, because I remember you coming in the gas station when you're a pup coach there.
Yep.
And you take them over to Mount Pleasant. You won some big games.
Yeah, we went, 4 districts there. Went to a couple regional finals. So, again, it's all about the kids. It's not me being the best coach in the world. It's getting them to believe what you're teaching them and working hard for the cause. No matter how good that talent is, you can win a lot of games with kids that believe in you and believe in what you're doing.
And my son played for him baseball last year.
Yeah.
And my son would run through a wall for him.
Yeah. Well, see, now it's a tradition for your family to be coaches. But now we're going to jump to Brennan. Your dad didn't coach.
No. He was a choir boy. He was a history teacher. He, a guy that had a master's degree, but he would travel anywhere. When we played at Saginaw Novell a couple years in a row, he never missed a game, so he was always there to support. But I grew to love the game because I loved the game, and I had Bill Burmeister as a great influence on me, and he's the one that brought me into coaching, and it's just kind of stuck ever since.
Yeah, I was going to ask you who your mentor was. I remember when you played. You folks don't remember, back in the 90s, Brennnan Walsh was one hell of a point guard. I remember going to your games, and I don't know why I went. Did you work for me back then? Maybe that's what it was. Were you in high school working for me?
I started working for you my junior year, yeah.
Okay, that's probably why I went to games. I couldn't believe, but he was. If you had a point guard like you, Brennan, you'd be winning a lot of games. You had a great team, I know, but you handled the ball real well. You were really good on defense. You were quick. And, I can remember it just like yesterday. But, so everybody's different. But the one thing is, I've seen now in your generation, you're more involved with the kids than we were. I mean, I was the AD at St. Mary's. I was involved, but a lot of my friends weren't with their kids. They just kind of dropped them off and went to the games. No disrespect to my age group, but it was a different era back then. I see more involvement now, like Matt's helping Brian here coach the St. Mary's team. The other night we played St. Peter's. That's like the Reed City and Big Rapids game for Big Rapids. Brian's doing a great job teaching those kids plays. I just got the biggest kick out of their 5th and 6th graders. And it was just, they again are going to be good ball players because they're handling the ball so well. And his boy, Cooper, which we at the gas station just adore him when he comes in every morning.
He's a little too physical.
He's just like his mother. But beautiful child. But has just got that Jackie Gleason mentality. Jolly good looking, but jolly good guy. But you put him on the court, and he's a basketball player, but he's a hockey player.
And a football player.
And a football player.
There was one play where at our end where there was a big group of kids under the basket, and I saw one St. Peter's kid go down. I'm like, how'd that happen? And then same sequence, another kid goes down. And I look and
the ref
Cooper.
doesn't blow a whistle.
And I look down at the coach, and he raises his hands. I'm like,
oh
Matt.
my Lord.
I pull Cooper from the game and have Matt have a talk to him about physicality.
Well, he was going for the ball.
I'm not too sure, but
oh my Lord, it was funnier than heck though. But anyway, you're doing a nice job, Brian, and I guess the whole group, like I already talked about Nathan, you guys are just very impressive young people, and that's why I say America's going to get better, because these kids are being disciplined. They learn respect. And, you know they're not going to go to college and play ball. A lot of them think in fourth grade that, my kid's going to be playing for University of Michigan. But reality sets in after they get their diploma their senior year, go get a job or go to college. Nothing wrong with that, because I think two things. You gotta have a goal, and you got to try to attain it. But the thing is, if you didn't attain it, if you don't attain it, at least you can say you tried. Yep. And gave it your all. And I think that's what Reed City does every year. I look at the Reed City Coyotes, and the one thing is they can go 8-12, but I guarantee you, every game they gave it their all. So when they come off the court, they don't hang their heads. They're saying, hey, we gave it our all. Brennnan, I think, is a tremendous coach. Yeah, you're going to lose probably more this year than you're going to win, but you're going to give it your all. Isn't that right, Brennnan, and the Coyotes, the mentality of your team up there?
Yeah, play with pride, you know, and work hard and just have a toughness to you, and that's what we're trying to build and establish in these kids. And we got everybody back but our seniors, so it's all about these kids just putting in the time and the effort and understand it's a process to get where we want to go. And and it's not about wins and losses. It's coming together as a team and working hard for each other. And I like where we're at. I like where we're going.
Yeah, right now I'm going to keep talking about your team, Jason, and the Cardinals and the Coyotes, because right now I listen to these parents, and they're not bragging, but they're saying we have some really good talent coming up, Pat. Well, we have talent right now too. I realize that, but you really do have a strong group of kids coming up, don't you, Jason, in the Cardinals?
Yeah, I guess you could say it's a rebuild every year, right? We're high school. We don't have the transfer portal and things like that. So, it's in and out, and it's having those coaches that at those younger levels that can develop those kids. And there are some good kids coming up for all sports, not just basketball, right, in Big Rapids between the 7th and 8th graders. So, if they continue to stick with it and understand that hard work is where it's going to get you there, right? It's not just talent alone, because there's some talented kids out there in our area that play for Reed City and Newego and everywhere else, Morley. So it's working hard and understanding that work ethic that's going to take you to get better. And I'm a firm believer, talent at some point obviously wins games, but hardworking teams can outwork talent, and anything can happen on a Friday night where it's a close game. A team that's 3 and whatever and a team that's undefeated, they will lose to a team that works harder than them, especially on defense.
I go back, go back to football, Big Rapids and Coopersville. In that game that night, that's probably the best high school football game I remember seeing in a while, firsthand. And if you looked at Coopersville, you're like, man, they got some size. Yeah. But then I think we had more heart that night. And just to use that as an analogy.
Mm-hmm. I want to touch on freshmen. You have 2 freshmen playing on varsity, right, Brennnan?
Yep.
And you have how many freshmen?
1.
Back in the day, if you had a good freshman, he had to be really good to play on the varsity team. He had to be in the top 5. Nowadays, I notice that a lot of guys will bring that freshman up and they'll sit the bench. I don't know, what are you guys' thoughts on that? As far as back in the day, I remember when Adam was a freshman JV, his JV year, possibly they took a couple guys up to varsity, but they set the bench. Adam, I said, no, he's not going to varsity. He's staying on JV. Not that he was good enough to go to varsity. I'm not going to imply that. But they were thinking about it. And he played on JV, and he was a stud. And he played every game, almost every minute. When he became a junior, he was good enough to start for the varsity team. And then he played through the next 2 years very well. So the time that he got, I felt, as a JV really helped him a lot more than those 2 or 3 other guys that went up there and set the bench. What's your thoughts on that? I mean, you got 2 freshmen. Are they starting?
one starting, and then one comes in, plays about half the game, and they wouldn't be up there if they weren't going to get meaningful minutes. Because I do think it's important to be on the court and have that experience and feel some success at the lower levels. Ours came down to just numbers. I mean, we've got 10 kids on our team. One's out for 5 weeks with a broken hand, so we got 9 guys, including the 2 freshmen. So if we didn't have those 2 freshmen,
Lord.
we don't have enough.
No, you don't.
But if I had the numbers, I was not planning on them being on varsity. And I've seen kids that have been moved up and then it didn't, and as a sophomore, and then end up not finishing their varsity career because it didn't. Their junior year didn't go so well, and then they come back for their senior year. And I've seen that happen multiple times. And I don't think. I mean, you got to be careful with moving kids up and it not being the right situation.
There's one. Yeah, I think I remember that. There was one that comes to mind at Big Rapids that they moved up, and it never. And I think he didn't play his sophomore year, and then I don't know if he played after that. And the talent was there.
Right. Yeah.
But I think, at that age, you're still learning the game, and you need as much time on that court as you can.
Yeah, I know there's an exception. I know that, like Irvin Johnson or something like that. I mean, he's going to be playing college at his freshman year in high school. I'm not saying there isn't exceptions, but overall, maturity level, there's a big jump from being 15 to 16, 17, 18.
Oh, it's huge. I mean, my one freshman playing kind of point forward, he's 14 years old. And
wow.
And, and you have to have perspective. You got to understand that he's young.
Yeah.
I mean, that's young. And when I was a freshman, I would not have been ready to play varsity basketball, and so these guys are going to make mistakes, and you got to understand that. I mean, they're young.
Yeah. Were you, did they move you up as a JV to varsity?
No. I played freshman my freshman year, JV my sophomore year.
Okay. How about you, Jason?
Yeah, I believe the same thing as Brennnan does. If you're going to bring a freshman or sophomore up, they have to play. You kind of benchmark that to maybe half the game as a minimum. Every coach is a little bit different, but there is something to practicing with a varsity team, because you can say that physicality of the bigger, stronger, faster juniors and seniors, you're going to obviously get better guarding better players, but you have to play. I don't care how much you practice and who you practice against. If you're not playing against competition other than yourself, you're just not getting better. The game's faster, during game nights. The decision-making processes are different than practice. So kids got to play. Absolutely.
The sad thing about it is you got 10 guys on the team or 12 guys on the team, and that means you got 24 parents sitting up there watching it. Unfortunately, only 10 of them are going to be watching their kid play. The other 12 are going to sit there and watch the other kids play. Now, everybody thinks their kid should be starting, and that's okay. Not everybody. I shouldn't say everybody. There's been people that have made the team because who their parents are, but they know the coach says, your kid's not going to be playing, but I'll let him on the team because you're a board member or you're my best friend or whatever the reason would be. We know that happens. That's politics. Donald Trump's going to change that. But anyway, supposed to laugh. But anyway, Bob, at least you could laugh, back it up a little bit. But anyway, when you have a freshman coming up to play in varsity, Brennnan doesn't have this dilemma, but you might have someday, Brennnan. What do you say to them older kids? It's a senior that's been whacking his, rear end off for 4 years to finally come as a junior. I'm the 7th player. As a senior, I should be starting. But all of a sudden, this kid comes up as a freshman and makes the team, and he starts over me or gets more playing time. How mentally does that affect the kid, Jason?
So, I mean, again, we're dealing with high school kids, right?
Yeah.
So they don't understand it's hard to process certain things for them, right? Their brains are still learning and young. I think the biggest thing with any situation, whether it's freshman, sophomore, even juniors and seniors, if you're not bringing up there, you have those very transparent conversations with them after tryouts. Say, this is where we think you're going to be at this point. There might be games where you don't see the floor for a week, just based on situations and different things like that. Obviously, positions and things. So if you're honest with kids, they don't always still accept that role, but they can at least respect you in that role of saying, okay, Coach and I had this conversation. This is what I need to do to get more minutes. This is what I need to show them practice and things like that. So if you're honest with kids, they may still not like it and they don't always understand it, but they can at least get that grasp of, we've had this conversation. I'm going to shoot you straight. I'm not going to say I'm going to give you 12 minutes a game or whatever. They at least have a little bit more respect for you and understand what you're doing for the team.
In the past, and we won't talk a lot about this, but we're talking about people here. In the past, I've seen good kids in the program, basketball program in Big Rapids, play as JV, freshman JV, pretty good ball players. And then as the junior year comes up, they'll come in the gas station. I'll say, why aren't you playing? I wasn't going to get to play anyway. It wasn't worth going out, and I'm not going to work my tail off and sit the bench when I know I should be playing. And that's going to happen in every program. But like when you were at Charter, did you ever have that problem with kids saying, I'm not playing because I know I'm not going to play? Because you had some pretty good teams there. So you had to really, you were a winner there. I remember that really well when you would come in and you would go and play Sacred Heart and beat them. It's like, wow, Jason, you're doing really well with those kids over there. So you played your best 6-7, right?
Yep.
And so they knew that the following year you had those kids coming back. Did you have any of them say, Coach, I'm just not going to go? Or did you have them say, I want to be a part of the team even though I'm not going to play?
There were a few. And I think it comes down to basketball is a tough game, right? It's 32 minutes. It's a fluid game. It's hard playing a lot of kids. I mean, just based on how the runs go, things like that. But what it comes down to with those kids that don't come back, that maybe your 8th, 9th, 10th guy, and you ask them and talk to them, do you want to be part of something that's, basically greater than yourself, right? Mm-hmm. Can you be a cheerleader on the bench? Can you be positive for the rest of the guys? And if not, maybe the sport's not for you, right? And we've had a few at Crossroads that didn't come back based on because they thought they should be playing 32 minutes a game, and it just wasn't the reality. So, but kids now, I think, are starting to understand that they're being a part of a team and being a part of something that's maybe not being the stud basketball player, if you will, and being really good teammates. I've seen that this year in Big Rapids more on the varsity. I think the culture is changing. Kids are having fun being part of something. I mean, so hopefully that continues.
Well, that's good. How about you, Brennan? Of course, you're low on numbers. You take an 8th grader.
Yeah, right. I mean, if you're on the team, you're getting on the court right now.
Right.
But and eventually, it's not what you want. You want them to have to work and earn it to get on the court, and have to fight for spots, and to have guys that are riding the bench because you got such good depth. And and that's, but it's tough because kids are unhappy when they're not playing. It's a tough situation to get them to buy into being a part of it, show up to work every single day and not get the rewards of getting playing time. And I do wish that kids and parents would see a little more value in their kid being part of the team. I mean, you got something that you're doing every single day for 4 months, and they're building relationships, and they're learning whether they're playing or not. They're learning values, and so I think there's a lot to be said about being part of it. But when it comes down to it, it really is tough for a parent, for a player, to watch their kid to not play. And I wish that we could do a little better job of people supporting each other's kids and not just their own.
Yeah, it's tough. But you know what? Let's take a break and thank our sponsors. We got, 15 more minutes and we're out of here.
There you go. We'll be right back.
Hey, this is Andrew from Big Rapids Tire. Putting off winter, good idea for some, but in reality, pretty much impossible. And if you wait too long to get snow tires, you'll be saying,
should have done it sooner. Dang it.
Or something slightly more harsh. Last thing you want is be slipping and sliding, or even worse, delayed, because you can't get out of your driveway. Get fresh new snow tires from Big Rapids Tires. There's no better feeling than to confidently take on the roads in the rough weather with good, solid snow tires on your car. Confidence and peace of mind. Priceless. Big Rapids Tire. There for you, whatever the weather. Fast and friendly service on Northland Drive, just north of Big Rapids. Call 796-4839. That's 796-4839. Big Rapids Tire.
Come say cheers at Zot's Bar and Grill in Big Rapids. Great food, great prices, and great people, where everybody knows your name. Zot's, people's choice for best soup. You don't want to miss their award-winning burgers and chili as well. Originally opened in 1933 and serving it up ever since. Seasonal beers on tap. Located at 732 North State Street in Big Rapids. Roxanne and Doug at Zot's Bar and Grill are proud sponsors of the Signature Player of the Week for the Curries Hot Stove League every Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. 10 before 10 on B1039. The Hot Stove League continues, Pat.
Boy, we need some more sponsors. So if you're in business out there and not making any money and you want to get the word out on your business, let's...
I'm sorry, just pull down 4 on the headphone.
Pull down 4.
Yeah, there we go.
I said, if you'd like to help sponsor this real quick here, we're always looking for more sponsors. If you want to get the word out on your business, if you're selling tractors or burgers, give us a call. We'll get the word out there. We have a lot of listeners because of Brian Miller and our guest every week are pretty good people. And this morning, we have Jason
796-1103, the number to call.
796-1103. If anybody wants to call in, we have 10 more minutes and ask Brennan or Jason a question on what their lives are all about, or
different number for that.
Oh, what's that number?
Yeah, that's 231-592-1039.
Yeah. So anyway, your son's playing now, Brennan, where?
At Kuiper College down in Beltline.
How's he doing?
He's doing really well. It's a lot of fun to watch him. He gets to keep playing. He loves the game. We've spent a lot of time traveling around and it being a big part of our lives. And I'll tell you, it's amazing. He's on the JV team, and they got a couple of JV teams, and they play against community college. They played against Grand Rapids Community College the other day, who's loaded. They're really tough. But he plays against really good competition, and this is community college ball. This is JV ball, and there's so many good kids out there. The competition's so high for kids trying to play the next level. And I don't think people understand that. That your kid might be good, but there's so many good kids out there.
Oh, yeah. Well, that being said, it goes to my next question to both of you. Jason, you've been coaching, like you say, 25 years. I know everybody has a goal in coaching, and I'd really like to see you as a varsity coach here someday. I really think you have the credentials and the history of a winner. Brennan was unfortunate that he isn't down here yet, but fortunate for the Reed City Coyotes. The next level for either one of you guys would be college level. You got the credentials. Both of you guys have that way with people. I think in general, you'd be good business people. And being a coach, we all know where you're at there. But